right, so once again, I'm live and coming in, and I'm about to break this thing down. Got Frank Nitty with me today. Chak, possibly anybody else. Yo, what's up, man?
Man, how you doing?
Doing fine. Been a while since I've been on here, but it's okay.
Magnesium last night, that should have me out, man.
So what?
That magnesium, that should be. I was in deep sleep, man. Shit.
Well, it's all right. Well, it's time for me to come back and awaken some of the people.
Oh, yeah.
Because throughout most of the election season, I was out. People don't even understand what's going on. They kind of stuck in a trance. Remember, I always tell you, I don't pay attention to who is president or whatever, because as I told you, as long as they control the money, they don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look at the Sequestration Budget Act and look at Project 2025, both of them are very similar.
That's true, man.
So, as I've sent you this video before with Whitney Webb and who's this girl, Gray, I'm going to show you today who controls America's food, politics, actors, actresses, and even AI. We're going to really pin this tail on the donkey. See, I just don't understand how people get this confused. See, our politicians do not work for us. Okay? They don't. Because we don't donate millions of dollars. So with that being said, I'm gonna play the video probably about, 10 minutes, but we're gonna cut in, break points down and things like that. Then I gotta go to another one. Then I'm gonna start pulling up the donations and the receipts and all that. I'm gonna bring it there from, that's how I let you know all of them is all connected through their relationships.
I was thinking it was, a couple weeks before the election. I was thinking we could do a kind of evergreen episode about Diddy or Epstein or the extent to which these, so quote unquote conspiracy theories might be informing our political moment and what we can learn from them. And now I've seen you do a lot of really interesting coverage about the implications of various Trump appointees, again, relating to some of these, I don't know, how do you describe them? Sub-political connections that are driving our politics. And that is, it does feel very topical, frankly, and interesting. I do find myself, I want to confess to you that, apart from being on Rising, where there was a lot of audience interest in this stuff, I haven't personally dipped my toe into these waters, and I am a little apprehensive about it at the same, just because I don't know very much. I don't know enough to, hypothetically push back in the way that I would on a different subject area. But I know that that's a deficit of my own. And that's part of why I really want to talk to you, because you're so knowledgeable and you have such a wealth of knowledge over all of these different issue areas. So maybe the best thing I should do is to ask you, what do you think is most useful for this bad faith audience who obviously listens to other shows, but here in this context hasn't gone very far down many of these rabbit holes?
Sure.
What do you think they should know, a relatively normie audience on these things?
Yeah, so I guess I would start off by saying that in general, the way I've sort of approached my whole career is trying to build common ground, generally speaking, between the anti-war left and like the anti-war right, libertarians maybe, I guess, or people more of that bent, about common policies that tend to be bipartisan that I think are very Orwellian or very bad, and really benefit, more of the oligarch class, and sort of the idea that like both political parties really ultimately serve the same masters and advance the same policy agendas, but their sales pitches for those agendas are different. And so there's a couple of those agendas that I focused on throughout my career, aside from the Epstein stuff, which ended up being more focused on sex blackmail and sort of the formation of intelligence agencies, both in the US and Israel, and sort of the overlaps there. But a lot of my work is focused on, and it sort of has informed a lot of my coverage of the incoming Trump administration, sort of on, Peter Thiel, Palantir, and some of these, contractor companies that definitely play both sides, and which are advanced by both Democrats and Republicans, ultimately with the goal of sort of weaponizing the national security state against domestic dissent. And how I think what I worry about now with the incoming Trump administration is that they'll continue that same policy, even though they complained about it a lot under, Biden and the Biden and Harris administration, but will advance it under the guise of combating anti-Semitism, which has now been conflated with criticism of the.
And what she just say? What she just say?
The Trump administration they played with anti-Semitism.
Right. That's what she just said, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's pull it up. See? All right. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. I'm getting back to her, but I'm going to show it to you myself. This ain't got nothing to do with him specifically. But 2024, here you go. We're coming back to them. So we're gonna break this down in a context here. All right. Pull this up. All right, Frank, you see that? Anti-Semitism bill passed in the House, 501, 2024. You see it?
I see it.
The bill statutory authority for the requirement of the Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, taking into consideration the International Holocaust Remembrance, working definition of anti-Semitism when reviewing or investigating complaints of discrimination based on race, color, or national origin in programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. According to the ISA working definition, anti-Semitism is a perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred toward Jews. All right, that's in the U.S. Congress. All right. Now, you would think this would be something that Democrats would be passing, but no. 320 of them voted yes. That's 71%. That's all you need. 66% to get anything passed, right? Well, 70 Democrats vote no, 21 Republicans vote no. The majority of Republicans voted for this bill. Right?
You're right. They before.
So let's back out of that. I'm going to show you something else. Pro-Israel recipients. She just brought it up. So here you go. Open secrets right here. You see that? Pro-Israel recipients? You see that? This is money from pro-Israel to U.S. senators from 1990 to 2024.
Damn, they went all the way back from 1990. Oh shit.
Joe Biden got 4 million.
So wait, he got 4 million window.
That's how much money he got from Israel. I don't know if this from 1990 to 2024. I'm telling you, this is how much money they've been getting from Israel.
Well, that could be from then to then.
Yeah. Lieberman. Oh, you got Chuck Schumer right here, 1.7. Ted Cruz. Yeah, Ted Cruz. There you go. John McCain. Oh, yes. David Perdue. Dick Durbin. Sharon Brown, Ohio. Bob Casey. Lindsey Graham. He got $1 million here. Mitt Romney. Oh, yeah. Raphael Warnock. Y'all know him. Down there in Georgia. Oh, yeah. You know him, don't you? You heard him. Right? Bill Nelson. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people in this list, buddy. Tom Hawkins, Rick Scott, Florida. Tim Kaine, Virginia. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dianne Feinstein. Look at. Oh, yeah. Keep going. Tammy Baldwin, Wisconsin. Oh, yes. Frank, I'm going to bring you who making the money. Lisa Murkowski. Now, all right. This has got a lot of pages on here. It's like 281 inches on here. I ain't gonna give you all 281. You can go pull this shit up your damn self. But now watch this. Miriam Addison. Let's put her up. She's an Israeli American physician. Isn't that her and Donald Trump right there? Dallas Mavericks owner Miriam Addison spent more money in 24 to bankroll Texas gambling efforts. That's why you had to fight there. That's part of the reason. Middle East Eye, who is the middle Israelite billionaire backing Trump? Here you go. She became a kingmaker in American politics while also backing right-wing politics in Israel. That's her right there. She gave Trump $100 million. She's an Israeli American. There you go, right there. Trump is on record vowing to end wars on Gaza and Lebanon. At the same time, he began changing his critical rhetoric of war after receiving a whopping boost from Miriam, and several of Trump's nominees have links to the Adelson family. Her husband is a casino guy. Her maiden name is Farbstein, so it ain't even Adelson, it's Farbstein. She was born in British Mandatory Palace after her parents fled Poland in the 1930s. Israel was created in 1948, what is known as a catastrophe to the Palestinians. All right. Adelson primaries. After her husband died, she took over politics. Did she support Trump in 2016? Now, Trump did say that they were trying to, give big dollars to Rubio because he feel he can mold him into a perfect little puppet. But at the same time, didn't he just put Marco Rubio in his cabinet? So that don't make a lot of sense. Okay.
But yeah, he just picked Rubio, right?
However, the Adelson met with Trump couple months later and recorded a conversation with Israel. Miriam said she found Trump to be very charming. After that, the Adelson eventually became Trump's top supporters. They gave $20 million to his campaign in 2016, and 2 years later, $113 million to Republican conservative groups during the 2018 midterm cycle. The support yielded significant results as Trump moved the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which the Atkins have been pushing American presidents to do so for over a decade. So this is the reason Trump really became the president. That's what I'm letting you know. As a matter of fact, before that, he had already met with Benjamin Netanyahu, and Benjamin Netanyahu had told him to do the same thing. He awarded Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom, putting her outside her husband's shadow. Then in 2020, they gave $75 million to the Preserve America PAC, a super PAC supporting Trump. Will she have influence on Trump's Israel policy? Her husband would influence on Trump's decision to move to U.S. and reports emerged in May that she was conditioning her support for the former president on allowing Israel to acknowledge the West Bank officially. So there you go. So when I tell you what these people got in stove, I mean, it's right there. I mean, her husband faced a $34 billion lawsuit in 2016 to support an Israeli settlement expansion. All right? That's her husband right there, Sheridan Addison. He died at 87. All right? In that interview, Trump said she'll finish his war in Gaza. Well, all right, so that's one of them. All right, let's go. Let's stop there. I read enough of that. I'm just giving you the rundown here, right? On that, just on that, right? All right, let's pull up Pam Bondi. Since you brought her up last night, I'm gonna bring her up for you, okay? Did you bring her up last night? You brought her up, right? Pam Bondi? Right.
Oh, yeah.
Pam Bondi, Trump's AG nominee, has called for FBI to question pro-Hamas campus protesters. And she calling the FBI to do this now. Just putting it out there for you. Surgeon General. Surgeon General is the woman. Now, sound good, but Trump's Surgeon General called for banning social media for teens, which that may not be. Now they ain't want me to pull up the dag off. Now forget it. Trump's Surgeon General. That's her. This Surgeon General, she's the one that thank Facebook for censoring you during the pandemic. Oh, yes. She loved to mass children. And she also advocated for children under the age of 12.
What's the name again? That's not Kristi Noem, is it? No,
that's not Kristi Noem. This is the one that Trump picked for the Surgeon General right here.
Okay, because they all kind of look alike. She got the hair and the chick kind of look alike, and then the other, I don't know, but you all got the even that FDA pick. He wanted to give pregnant women. He wanted to give it to pregnant women. Back in June 21, she was downplaying the risks of myocarditis in kids. In October 2021, she said the risk for kids was low. In January 2022, she was still promoting. Okay. Now, the guy, Marty Mockery, he changed his views, they say, but we got to see. All right. You asked me about Kristi Noem, right? Let's go to her since you brought her up. Kristi Noem, anti-Semitism bill.
Right. Them picks suck, man.
Kristi Noem signs historic bill to combat anti-Semitism in the law. HR 1076. All right.
They only combating that. They only that's it. I noticed that. You noticed that? Combat this, that. That's the only thing that they talk about combating is that.
Now, today, Kristi Noem signed it into law, which requires the consideration and definition of anti-Semitism when investigating unfair or discriminatory practices. Against.
Wow. So those are the only people that can face that kind of stuff, right? Them people. From what I'm hearing. Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me, my bad. What I'm hearing.
If a Jewish child in South Dakota is going to be more safe and protected, it's because what we did here today, Rabbi Mendel told her. Now, Doc Boss mentioned Trump's picks. Well, he's not picking the people. Jared Kushner. Hold on. What is staffing? Here you go. Is Jared Kushner pulling the strings for Trump's transition team? There he is.
Oh, his son-in-law. Yeah, he giving son-in-law a lot of leeway there. Giving a lot of.
Now, if you think that's bothersome, right? Watch this. You think I'm joking? Watch this. Jared Kushner. Watch this. This gonna get you. This gonna really make you say, Watch this. Who was on the board of Operation Warp Speed, which is the Israeli program?
Warp Speed. He's on Warp Speed, boy. So who put that in his ear to do that?
Well, Jared Kushner was on one of the boards.
Oh, for Warp Speed, got you. This dude, man. Damn, his son-in-law. That's weird. I never seen nobody give their son-in-law that much. All right, damn.
Jared Kushner. He worked so hard. Where's Jared? Thank you. This was this in the National Archives right here. Here you go. Right there. Mention Jared. Monkai Salu. And that was another guy. So Jared Kushner was in on that. All right. What's the guy name? Scott Benson. I'm gonna give you another one. Oh yeah. No, forget that. I'm gonna forget that. I'm gonna play some more of this video, but I want to now watch this. Trump to pardon, possibly. Now, I just want to use the word possibly. Netanyahu plans a big gift for Trump 2 months from now. He is preparing a win in Lebanon but when he took the L in January. So that's what the ceasefire was about.
You got the Masonic little handshake.
This was a couple of them in the Israel. Yeah. Told Trump and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, that Israel was quickly preparing a ceasefire deal to get a president-elect an early win when he takes office in January. And but they also talking about doing a second Abraham Accords as well. As I already told you, Mike Huckabee already said, we plan to annex the entire West Bank. It's no secret that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu supported Trump over Kamala Harris. Yeah. So I'm telling you, I mean, really tell you the truth. That's why I tell you, when they tell you that lie and all that stuff, oh, China, no, it ain't no damn China. Israel controls American politics. They control who in the outhouse and who in the White House.
Okay.
That's why I tell you all the time, it don't really matter who you like. I don't care about that. I know who pulling the strings behind the curtain. What's ours? All right? What's the other guy? Matt Gaetz. Actually, I told people Matt Gaetz was not getting a job. Matt Gaetz against the anti-Semitism bill. Trump AG pick called ADL racist, invited Holocaust denier to State of the Union. Well, did he get the job or did he not get the job? Or he not even in politics. He said he's getting out of politics altogether.
Then he said, damn. U.S. and meltdown over.
Leading Jewish groups were quick to come out against anti-Semitism. Right? So all you got to do is go Times of Israel, put it up. It's going right up. All right. So we got Trump's AG pick, right? All right. So you got that. You see that, right?
I see it.
All right.
Yeah, she's something. Even with the First Amendment or Second Amendment, she was
okay.
She's something else, man.
Just let me know. And then on the top, it got Israel 19 days or some shit like that. All right, forget it. Let's go back here. All right, let's see here. Black Caucus. Watch this now. Let's get to them. See everybody getting this today.
Oh yeah.
They say the Congressional Black Caucus should boycott Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. Say should. This is when he came to Congress in 2015. All right, there you go, man. I hear him, Shaq. I mean, Frank. Benjamin Netanyahu meets Black Jewish cause to boost ties with Biden and Democrats. Here you go. There you go. Benjamin Netanyahu with the Black Caucus. You see it, don't you? Look at that. Ain't that nice? All of them hanging out with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Man, these people need to. Yes, that's the enemy, man.
Bravo. Met with 10 members of Congressional Black Caucus as he tries and
the open enemy right there, you know what I mean?
Prove his thing. Jerusalem was part of a visit, sponsored, affiliated of AIPAC. Representing Nakima Williams, a Georgia Democrat who co-chairs the Congressional Black Caucus. I understand. All right. Now I'm gonna give you another backer. Watch this. See, it ain't just Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not just him. What's the guy name?
Oh yeah, teal, huh? That's what's his name was down. That's the vice president down with her.
Peter Thiel, venture capitalist,
JD Vance is down with her.
Co-founder of Faith Fund and Founders Fund, was the first outside investor in Facebook. Okay. And he is also, as well, watch this. Now, Peter Thiel, another one, he says, I defer to Israel. Video service that the Palantir Chak struggling to answer questions about clients' use of AI-generated kill lists. Oh, yes. Oh, did you know anything about this? Palantir Technologies. That's him. Now, he's telling you openly his bias is to defer to Israel. He's telling you that. He said the IDF gets to decide what it wants to and that they're broadly in the right, and that's sort of the fact. All right. That's Peter Thiel. All right. So let's see. All right. There's one more person I forgot to mention. RFK Jr. RFK Jr. says Hamas must be destroyed. Yeah. So he said in Congress he's more pro-Israel than Democrats. That's what he said. Hey, I mean, anti-BDS laws, all right? U.S. states use anti-boycott laws to punish responsible businesses. The BDS movement, anybody needs to know? U.S. states are backing using anti-boycott law executive orders to punish companies that refuse to do business with Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Human Rights Watch said that more than 250 million live in states with anti-boycott laws or policies. So basically, if you're boycotting Israel, you need to know what your state is, because they're really trying to tell you boycott, your business could be punished. As a matter of fact,
you boycott them, you're getting punished for sure.
In January 2019, the U.S. Senate passed a bill to endorse state anti-boycott legislation. In March, federal lawmakers introduced resolutions in both the Senate and the House to condemn boycotts of Israel. None of these have yet to become a law. But so what is this all about? Let's get to this. The Greater Israel Plan. No, that's the wrong one. That's in 1967. Well, wait a minute. Where Netanyahu revised the Greater Israel Plan. I'm going to show you how much control Israel got over the United States before I go back to this video. Israel sank a U.S. ship in 1967. The U.S. Liberty incident was an attack on the United States by Israeli Air Force jet fighter craft and Israeli naval motor to torpedo boats on June 8, 1967 during the Six-Day War. Lyndon B. Johnson was president at the time. Nothing happened. Nothing happened, brother. Nothing happened about this. Now, that's an act of war, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, that's why I'm saying it don't matter who you support. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you one more because we're coming to all this stuff today. All right. Israel, pull it. Fake meat.
Mm.
The 3D printed meat.
I heard about that.
That's Israeli technology, brother.
Believe it or not, this is the future of the meat industry. In just an hour, this printer by Redefine Meat can build you about 6.5 kilos or 13 pounds of fake meat.
The idea is to replace a cow. So each of our machines.
And the copyright 1976. This video is a little fair play for educational purpose only, but I'm just showing it to you. Yeah, I'm showing it to you.
Produce in a day exactly like a cow, up to 250 kilos in a single day.
And not just faux ground beef, as with other alternative meat products.
As far as we know, there is an amazing industry of alternative meat that is focused on mince meat. And actually, the meat industry is driven by the whole muscle cuts. Our technology can create whole muscle cuts, just as a cow can produce that, in a much more efficient way with a lower cost. And of course, it's much better for the environment. So we are introducing a new category. We can do the entire cow, not only one part of the cow that is actually.
All right. Well, you heard that, Frank, didn't you?
Man, I heard it.
What happened 6 days ago?
I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime.
Get Max for $2.99 a month for 6 months.
Welcome back. We have a real alert for you this afternoon. Over 167,000 pounds of ground beef from Wolverine Packing Company has been recalled due to possible E. coli contamination. The beef was shipped to restaurants nationwide. In Minnesota, at least 15 people have gotten sick from eating ground beef. A sample test of the beef yesterday confirming it was positive for E.
Hello, thanks for joining us. The ground beef linked to an E. coli outbreak in Minnesota is now being recalled nationwide.
The number of cases is also growing. The recall involves more than 167,000 pounds of ground beef that could be contaminated. At least 17 Minnesotans got sick, including 2 people who had to go to the hospital. WCCO's Kirsten Mitchell has what you need to know.
The Minnesota Department of Health says the cases of E. coli were traced back to ground beef served at Red Cow and Henhouse Eatery. The restaurants have since gotten rid of the beef from Wolverine Packing Company, which has now been recalled nationwide. While the fresh product's use-by date has expired, the USDA is concerned some restaurants may still have the beef in their freezers and are urging them to check.
And if you're eating out at a restaurant, you should order ground beef that's cooked, again, to the point where you're going to kill the bacteria that may be present.
That's at least 160 degrees. U of M public health professor Craig Hedberg says it's a reminder to practice safe food handling, too. Since October, E. coli has been linked to onions served at McDonald's, carrots, and ground beef.
Why does it feel like we're seeing more of these E. coli and foodborne illnesses?
The tools we have to identify and investigate these outbreaks have really.
Welcome back.
Just showing you some things there. People might didn't pay attention to. Whoa.
Believe it or not.
Now, so just taking a little pause right quick. Frank, what do you think about all this, man? What do you think right now? Right.
Damn, shit. Yeah, I'm not surprised. This shit, man. That shit is crazy. Especially them. Man, all this influence that they got, man. The Republicans seem like they really on this dude. I mean, on this on them people, man. Republicans, they I mean, they're both the Democrats and Republicans, but they trying to, from them to be the party of the people supposed to be not, what I'm saying, for the oppressors and big business and all this, like the Democrats are. They full of it too. They're all full of it, man. It's just on the take. You know what I'm saying? Stites, what up? Basically, it's just all about who pays, like you were saying. You got to pay these politicians, man. We're not paying these politicians, man.
There go your Anti-Semitism Awareness Act right there. Told you about it. 32091. There you go. 32091.
And then Kushner, whoever putting all these people in his cabinet, it's all by design, to be honest with you. Well, it's not a coincidence that he putting all these people in there. Yeah, man, Larry Fink, exactly. Black Wall's right.
Yep, that Larry Fink did.
And that meat, they should be both of it. Really, oh shit, what happened? They should be really tried. You know what I'm saying? That meat that's scandalous. They should get in trouble for that meat, man. I mean, who's giving is the FDA who's giving them the okay to make that fake meat like that?
I just showed you that it's an Israeli program.
Right.
All right.
But for them to start making it over here, they gonna start making it over here too?
They already doing it. Now, since Joy Reid said don't spend time with your family on Thanksgiving. IMDb. All right. Joy Ann Reid. What is she? IMDb. She got 4 nominations for her role. Agent Info. She's an actress. Oh, she's a producer, writer, and an actress. Nice.
See? All that stuff, the rants and stuff she be doing on it. All that stuff she be doing on MSNBC.
Oh my God.
That'd be staged, man.
It'd be staged. That's why I don't. Al Sharpton. An actor. Same thing. Actor, writer, and producer.
Yeah, you gotta be right. Check the IMDb, man.
You see it, don't you? He's an actor and a writer known for Mr. Deeds, Malcolm X. All right. Al Sharpton used to hang out with Donald Trump, didn't he? Yeah. Pull up Donald Trump. IMDb. Another actor, producer, writer. Right here. Donald Trump, actor. Agent Info. You put up the agents.
He was on WWF. He was on types of movies. Telling him. They be actors, man.
Well, let me say something. Now watch this. Now you see this? They won't let me pull up the agent unless I get the IM Pro for $825 a month. I had to go somewhere else to get the agent, so don't worry about that.
Oh, you can get the agents right. When you buy the little thing, you get right. You can get more exclusive.
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, they got these agents. You're right, man.
Chuck Schumer, actor. Here you go. He's an actor.
Bam. Chuck Schumer, same thing, actor. Ain't that him? Doesn't it say act up there, doesn't it, brother?
It says it does. That it does. That it does.
I mean, I'm just giving you the rules. So they tell you they senators and all that. Yeah, they might be, but they actors too. Let's see. As a matter of fact, watch this. Emanuel, Donald Trump. Emanuel bet big on Trump. Now it's time for the UFC to collect. Well, you gotta remember, after Trump won, didn't he go to that fight?
Right.
Well, Emanuel controls Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
Stephen A. Smith. Well, he used to be Trump's agent. So, but I'm not sure if he's his agent now. But all right, Emanuel, Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah.
As a matter of fact, now I didn't even know this, Frank. I didn't even look this up. But Emanuel Obama went Doha for the Sport of Go World Summit. There you go, Emanuel. Same guy. Endeavor CEO hit the Arabian Peninsula for the inaugural Sport of Go World Summit. I didn't know they. And this article from 5 days ago. Make sure I get that. Make sure I send that to you. Don't let me forget that one. Forgot about that. Well, I didn't even know about that one. I just telling you who. All right. So. All right. Emanuel, Stephen A. Smith. Here you go. And don't try to act funny now. Don't let me see it now. Oh shit. Endeavor is a proxy for content growth and a barometer of overall content, from a new and House of Dragon co-creator to a podcast by sportscaster Stephen A. Smith. Go! Watch this now. Watch this. I'm going to give you one more, Frank. Then we're getting back to the video. One more. Remember that guy I told you that the casino guy, Sheldon Addison? Let's see. Might go dig deeper. Hold on a minute. Let me go dig deeper into this. Hold on. I gotta find it for you. Shit. I got to show it to you. My conscience is clear, brother.
Bishop, what's going on?
Can't find that one. We'll come back to that. I'll come back to that one. I think it had something to do with that. And let's get back to the video, because I got a lot to cover. I'm gonna tell you why the media talking about they're getting rid of these people.
The Israeli state, for example. And I can talk a lot about Palantir and where they come from. They're really a rebrand of a neocon program from the Bush era. And I think that's kind of important to broach because Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and all of these PayPal mafia guys have tried to rebrand themselves as libertarians, and they're very clearly not that.
All right, so that was a perfect setup, and if I can use that as a cold open, you've been listening to Whitney Webb. She is an investigative journalist, formerly at Mint Press News, and also the author of One Nation Under Blackmail. Welcome to Bad Faith, Whitney.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me on.
I mean, as I was saying, I have been eager to talk to you, a little overwhelmed at the prospect because of how your area of journalistic focus, your various areas of journalistic focus, like very much overlap with my own blind spots. So I am using this as an opportunity to sort of presume that the audience has some of those blind spots as well, and to get you to fill this in. And I really do want you to feel free to guide this conversation to the places that you think a relatively normie audience should go and what they need to know to start viewing some of this information maybe in a less conspiratorial light than it is viewed or as it's depicted in the mainstream, and to really understand what are the factors that are motivating so many of the political appointments that are being made today and the direction of our uniparty, more broadly speaking. So you brought up the fact that Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are people who have branded themselves as libertarians, but this is a relatively new identification for them. Can you say more about that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So Peter Thiel has openly labeled himself a libertarian, and this has sort of been adopted by both his critics and his acolytes for really quite a long time, but it really doesn't make very much sense. So for example, Peter Thiel is on video and also in his writings has referred to, for example, a free market competition as being for losers, and his definition of a capitalist is someone who accrues capital. So the most capitalist person is the person that's holding the most capital, or the richest person in the world. And he argues that the best way to do business is to build monopolies, find a niche, corner it, and build a monopoly. And when Peter Thiel has done that in his own business, he's done it in direct collaboration with three-letter agencies. He did that when he helped create PayPal. And of course, later on when he created Palantir, which he did with the direct involvement of several neoconservative figures from the Bush administration, Richard Pearl, John Poindexter, and some others. And then, of course, became very involved with the CIA, particularly the CIA VC firm In-Q-Tel, in order to produce this company, Palantir, which was really an effort to repackage a Bush era, a post 9/11 sort of Patriot Act era program that was housed within the Pentagon's DARPA called Total Information Awareness, which was widely criticized by the ACLU and a lot of these other, advocate groups, I guess you could say, in that era for arguing it would eliminate individual privacy and basically gut the Constitution and a lot of the protections that American citizens have, which is arguably very true, but they realized that if they rebranded this as a private sector program and removed the public sector from it, that perhaps people wouldn't complain. And that was sort of the impetus for Palantir. And so Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, when they were creating it, went to John Poindexter, who is probably best known for being the highest ranking member of the Iran or of the Reagan administration to be prosecuted for his role in the Iran-Contra scandal. He was brought back for the Bush administration to run this program, and at the time was considered the godfather of modern surveillance, because part of what he did as part of his involvement in the Iran-Contra scandal was sort of set up some of these protocols and be involved in other scandals of that era, largely forgotten, that also involved surveilling domestic dissent in the United States. And so Palantir was really sort of an effort to privatize that. And, if it's a private company, it doesn't have to necessarily follow all the rules that it would have to if it was a public sector program. So the decision was made to privatize it. And there was also another DARPA era related to total information awareness that was called LifeLog, which bears a lot of similarities to Facebook, which was actually launched the same day that LifeLog was shut down, in the same era of these DARPA programs being sort of shut down and then relaunched as private sector versions. And then Peter Thiel becomes intimately involved in creating early Facebook and shaping it, and remained on its board for a very long time and shaped a lot of its policies, including its involvement, for example, in unconstitutional surveillance, where Facebook collaborated along with a lot of other large Silicon Valley companies with the NSA to surveil Americans, for example. And of course, Palantir scrapes all of that data that's on Facebook and social media and uses that to regularly profile people, including Americans. Has been used in efforts to, example, develop predictive policing, which is really pre-crime. And Palantir was openly testing that in minority communities in New Orleans and some other parts of the United States, and trying to develop basically a way to outsource law enforcement and a lot of national security policy, also domestically, basically have an AI algorithm run it. And unfortunately, we're sort of at a point where there's probably going to be efforts, most likely under the incoming Trump administration, under the guise of increasing government efficiency, to put AI in increasingly powerful roles, in government, including in law enforcement and other things. And Palantir is a harbinger of that. And I think, if you look at its history, its CIA involvement, people like Peter Thiel and what this program has actually done and what it has, how it has developed, it's very concerning. So like in the COVID era too, Palantir was granted pretty much unfettered access to American health data and also to all the NHS health data in Britain on government contracts. And there's really been no meaningful oversight of what Palantir does with that, with people's health data and their history of targeting minorities in particular, and also labeling Americans subversives for intelligence agencies based on Americans' online activity. This is a very troubling company. It's very nothing about it is libertarian or civil liberty minded at all, despite the fact that Peter Thiel frames himself that way. They're also very willing collaborators of this proliferation of AI weapons. You can see that with their intimate involvement in the genocide in Gaza going on right now, and how they've facilitated a lot of these AI kill lists and things that have been used by the IDF that are not transparent, but are being used to decide if people live or die based on, an AI algorithm deciding how close they're affiliated with an alleged Hamas member.
If they're on the same cell phone plan, all of that kind of thing that we covered back months ago, right? It's so there's a lot in there. I wondered if we could take just a step back and talk about just Peter Thiel, how he got his wealth, obviously through PayPal, but the shift to Palantir and what is framed as a data analytics company. I think there might be some naivete, just lack of knowledge about the gap between how Palantir kind of presents itself as, a Silicon Valley company that does what tech companies do, versus a company that has all of its fingers in all of these kinds of really insidious pots. And then also, if maybe you could help us understand how they have been able to act in this way and Peter Thiel frame himself as someone who's a civil libertarian in the context of a political movement on the right that does seem to, at very least superficially, or among a certain segment of the base, have a genuine concern in some of the suppressive instincts of social media companies, banking apps, and the like. What have we seen from elected Republican officials vis-a-vis Thiel and Palantir, and has there been any pushback on the right against some of the actions that you've described Palantir is so deeply involved in?
Yeah, there's actually very little pushback against anything involving Peter Thiel on the right, which I actually find very surprising. But it's really not that surprising when you consider that a lot of prominent independent figures and figures that recently became quote unquote independent in alternative or independent media, like Tucker Carlson, for example, financed by Peter Thiel. Rumble, the biggest competitor to YouTube, largely financed by Peter Thiel, and also the man whose career was largely entirely really made by Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, who's now supposed to be, or is set to be, the vice president of the next administration. And there's really no shortage of Thiel connections to a lot of these media startups, or a lot of these sort of big figures that have become prominent in the most recent iteration of, the Trump campaign and incoming Trump administration, like Vivek Ramaswamy, for example. His VC firm largely capitalized by Thiel, and also Howard Lutnick, who's now the co-chair of Trump's transition team and is picking the talent, as he says it, for the incoming Trump administration. And of course, Lutnick himself was also a major figure in the creation of Rumble, helping it go public via SPAC through his company, Cantor Fitzgerald. So a lot of these actors are very involved in sort of the media complex that has formed as, in opposition to mainstream media, which is understandable in the sense that mainstream media has told lots of egregious lies, lied us into wars numerous times, and various other things of that nature. But I think it would be naive to assume that some of these actors would not then attempt to weaponize independent media as an effort to rebuild trust and then push similar talking points when they know that mainstream media has totally destroyed its credibility with a large segment of the American population, particularly on the right.
I wonder what you do with that personally. I mean, I have felt this tension of understanding that people are getting their videos taken down, getting demonetized, getting fully barred from apps for example, coverage that's critical of Israel, but myriad other things even before October 7th. And the emergence of platforms like Rumble do seem like a safety valve for content creators who otherwise feel deeply constrained. And I think that there are, people in this sphere who I respect who have taken up on that opportunity. How do you personally feel about the ability to sort of...
I saved $700 with Liberty Mutual. Crazy what you can get with those savings.
Not succumb to, I think you described it as kind of, I don't forget the words you use, but the preferred narrative being pushed by a Thiel-like figure while still taking advantage of the existence of a platform like that. There was, Patreon, for instance, came under criticism for censorship, and that made Substack seem like a more appealing option.
They censored my account.
Right. Okay. Great example. And then Substack got stigmatized as sort of right-leaning for a while until enough people joined it that it now is, like the air that we breathe. No one thinks of it that way anymore. And I think the hope is ultimately that Rumble will similarly have a transition and be an equivalent to YouTube, but without the quote unquote censorship. I mean, the accusation like Thiel backed, for instance, is thrown around in a way that sometimes I think accurately points to kind of a bias, like a political ideological bias, and sometimes is used to describe someone who happens to be on a certain platform, or maybe those things have an inextricable relationship to each other. What do you think about it?
Well, I think in the case of Peter Thiel, it's important to remember that he built Palantir specifically with the CIA. The CIA was the Palantir's only client for its first several years as a company. It took people from Langley to tell them how to develop their product, and has been intimately related to them really ever since. And that Peter Thiel has a long history of collaborating with the national security agencies. And a big part of that is getting people to surrender their data willingly online, and then have these contractors sort of suck that up and then profile people based on what they're saying, or not just what they're saying or commenting, but also what content that they are consuming, what they're viewing, and things of that nature. So my concern about Rumble is more sort of in that sphere. And I'm not certainly going to judge anybody from ditching YouTube for Rumble, especially when you consider that Google also has national security ties to its origins. And also the fact that, the co-founders of Google were definitely implicated in the Epstein scandal, for example. So I'm not trying to say YouTube is much better. But in the case of Rumble, something I have noticed is that the biggest accounts on that seem to sort of be homogenous in terms of their takes and their views on certain things. And I know that those large accounts do get financial incentives from the company Rumble, but I don't think that's true for every creator that posts their content on Rumble. And I think when you have the biggest accounts that are obviously going to be the most viewed and the most obvious on the homepage, all sort of saying the same thing, that can sort of have an effect on how people that get most of their video related content or video related news content from Rumble are going to be consuming the same thing, hearing the same thing, maybe from a few different shows. But, that homogeneity can sort of manufacture consent or create sort of, influence people to significant degrees.
I mean, full disclosure, I was approached to have a Rumble channel as well, just like the David Sachs funded app Callin had me do a show over there as well. And as it was told to me, it's like, well, we don't want it to seem like a right-wing app. We want a diversity of creators, ostensibly, so it's not the case, I'm putting quotation marks up, but so that it's not the case that there's a homogeneity of viewpoint and everyone feels like they can come on the app and it attracts a broader audience. The argument being, well, at the end of the day, we're capitalists. We just want to make money. We want everyone who, would be on YouTube to also come over here. And for me, the appeal of having the Call-In show is like, I love to be at a place where I didn't have to ask my followers for money. So to me, I'm like, if David Sachs wants to give me some money so that I can say left-wing things to a left-wing audience, there's no skin off my back. And
all right, so I just giving you a warm up, right, of what everything that we talked about earlier, right?
He controls a lot of stuff. Peter Thiel, huh? That motherfucker behind a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, Doc Ball, shout out to him sending me this video actually, but I watch Whitney Webb as well. But you got to understand, when I tell you that I don't hate Trump, I don't hate Biden, but I know they are actors and puppets, because the people who behind the scenes are the ones donating the money. The donors are the ones who, as a matter of fact, just before Trump left office on January 19th or 20th, he had an executive order that said his staff couldn't lobby, but he revoked the executive order when he left. So, what I'm telling you, what do you call it? The Zionist. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something too. See, a lot of people, they think that this is just Jewish people. No, it's a little deeper than that. Christian evangelism.
Yeah, I don't believe. I mean, I don't.
No. This is what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying. I was saying Doc Boss. I don't blame Doc Boss, man. I'm not voting no more. I don't blame him. That's just real, man.
So,
building your online business.
The biggest Republican base is they got evangelical base. And you watch this video, going to tell you why do evangelical Christians support Israel. All right. These are long videos, so I'm just giving you some Catholic Israel. You got things support Israel, Christians support Israel. Now, the U.S. Secretary of State just yesterday met with the Pope.
This is the second time that Anthony Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State, has met with the Pope. He does so less than 2 months before the end of his term in office following Trump's victory. Pope Francis and Blinken discussed international issues, such as the war in Ukraine and the Middle East. The meeting took place a few hours after the beginning of the 2-month ceasefire agreed upon between Israel and Lebanon. The U.S. diplomat, who traveled with his family, was also in conversation with top officials of the Vatican's Secretariat of State, Cardinal Parolin and Archbishop Gallagher. Blinken's first time with the Pope was in June 2021. It was for 40 minutes, during which the Pope recalled his trip to the United States in 2015.
Put the little photo up in there real quick.
You say what? Oh, yeah. Now, since let's keep going, because like I said, I'm peeling the tail on donkey. I'm going to get into the news media next. Christy, what's that woman named? Christy Nome. You brought her up earlier, right? You brought her up. I wouldn't even get, but you know what? Let's bring her up. So she brought her up. I'm not, you know.
Pioneer, you looking at the Asian women to the right? Pioneer. Pioneer, wow, man. Pioneer, you a trip. What is this lady? What is she? Does she classify as a
I don't know,
Jewish lady? What is this lady? Looks weird. She looks like she had a lot of plastic surgery too.
She does look at it.
You know what I'm saying? They all got that look to them. Yeah, that's the Elise one too. I don't trust Elise.
Oh, Elise, she's the same thing.
I don't trust her either, man. You know what I mean?
Here we go. I found it.
Thank you to the people of South Dakota for making an important statement today that evil, that the rising scourge of Jew hatred metastasizing throughout our country and throughout our world will be given no safe home in this great state of South Dakota. Thank you for making that statement. In order to confront a threat, any threat, we have to be able to understand the threat. That's how you win. The IRA definition is a global gold standard that allows us to recognize this evil of Jew hatred. The power of the IRA definition is that it includes 11 examples of how anti-Semitism is typically manifested. And those examples include not only traditional medieval anti-Semitism that blames Jews for every malady in the world, but also the so-called new anti-Semitism, which really isn't so new. And I want you to know something. The fact that this powerful statement is being made in the state with the smallest Jewish population in the country is deeply, deeply powerful. Throughout history, this evil, this spiritual sickness of Jew hatred has never only been about Jews. It starts with Jews. But make no mistake,
this guy's full of it.
Jew hatred is an assault on America. Hatred of the Jewish people is hatred of the very values, of the very DNA, of the very spiritual constitution of the United States of America. And so South Dakota, and standing up and saying, no, not here, not here. We are going to say no to this evil, to the spreading evil.
We need to have this type of legislation, not just here in South Dakota, but across the country, To sign a bill like this into law that will be an example to the nation is a very powerful thing for South Dakota to do. It's entitled an act to require the consideration, the definition of anti-Semitism when investigating unfair or discriminatory practices. Signed this 6th day of March by Governor Kristi Noem.
This lady, man. South Dakota. They don't even, but they don't even have a high population like that, right? Well, you know what's crazy about them? They don't have to have a high population somewhere, but they'll still you know what I'm saying? They'll still have a lot of influence. When we don't have a high population a lot in the place, we don't have a high population and we don't have influence. That's the problem. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying?
You're right. All right. Now what? Here's Adams. So let's put him up.
Eric Adams. This dude, man. Is that a yarmulke on his head?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Now watch this. Eric Adams said that he would work with Trump, right? Watch this.
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help small businesses easily reach.
Now look, these the black hat, small. I mean, with the big hats. I ain't even. They got some big hats on. And you got him right there. Is that not Eric Adams right there?
What is he doing, man?
Gotta pray over that dead rabbi. All politicians go meet with the Reed. All right. Eric Adams. Oh, yes. Now watch this. Watch this, brother. This is just last month. There you go.
He said hundreds of years.
Donald Trump, same grade.
The Gentile white. Yeah, man.
Like the same thing, same thing.
And Trump got the hat on too. That's Trump right there, huh?
Yep.
He's so full of it. He's full of it too, man. They actors, man.
I mean, he ain't the only one. Watch this.
Actors, man. IMBD was IMD.
Brutality of Hamas, these bloodthirstiness brings to mind the worst rampages of ISIS. This is terrorism.
Blood.
But sadly, for the Jewish people, it's not new. This attack has brought to the surface painful memories and the scars left by a millennia of anti-Semitism and genocide of the Jewish people. So in this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel.
He said, "Your boy, Pioneer. That's my boy Trump." Pioneer, you wild, man.
That's Marion Madison and Donald Trump. Now you see they got the American Israel flag together. This is an anti-Semitism.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miriam. I don't know if you know it, it's a great lady. This is a great lady. This is a great one. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, let's sit down. Let's talk about Israel, or Israel, as they say. I love the pronunciation. I love it. But you really are. You're a great lady, a great woman, my friend. And I've known you and Sheldon for a long time. We lost Sheldon. Nobody like him, right? You would say that. Nobody like him, but nobody like you either.
Try this. Go through all the careers that will make you happy. Be specific about who you want to become. About what you want.
And he's very proud of you right now. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank Rabbis Yehuda Kaplun and Yaakov Kaplun, Senators Rick Scott, doing well. Where's Rick? He's doing well. I saw a poll, and another one who's doing well is Ted Cruz. Ted, stand up, Ted.
Now, did I not just tell you that Ted Cruz and that guy Rick Scott was there going taking that money? Did I not say that? They're there.
You taking that money from, you talking about from AIPAC, right?
Yes. Now, I will give Trump credit. He did say that the Jews, some of the Jewish people were not supporting him there, but at the same time, he came out, I don't know if I can't remember this speech, but he said, he tell you, make America great again, but he's saying, I'm 100% for Israel. Can't remember if it was in his speech or not, but he has said that in the past. But as you see, they got the American Israel flag together. You see that, right?
Yep.
That means they one and the same.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you. And Lindsey doesn't have to do well because he's got another few years to go before he runs. It's something nice about that. But Lindsey Graham is terrific guy. Bill Haggerty, who's fantastic. Bill, thank you very much. And Joni Ernst. Where's Joni Ernst? Joni, thank you very much, Joni. Great, doing a great job. Those farmers love Joni. I'll tell you, she was tough, right? She came to see me, and I thought I made a deal, and then she said, no, we want more. But that's what you're supposed to have, right? Good job, Joni, and you got it. Former Senator Norm Coleman. Norm, thank you, Norm. Look good. And a spectacular person, Elise Stefanik. Spectacular. What she did to that woman at Harvard with the big fat glasses. That woman had no idea what was happening. That was beautiful to watch, actually. Friend of mine, Carlos Jimenez. Carlos, thank you. What a great guy. He's our friend, and when I had a little ear problem, he was there. He literally came from Texas, Virginia. Probably didn't like me. So we took a chance, Mary, didn't we? Mary Miller, we took a chance, and our Vegas. Huh? Wow, I watched you last 97. Right, that's more than China, the United States, and every country in the world for the next 200 years has. But they go along with it anyway. But he's a great gentleman and a friend of mine, Ed Russo. Where is it? Arizona. We're up in Wisconsin. Scourge of anti-Semitism tonight. We're 2 weeks away from the 1-year anniversary of the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Without question, on October 7th, which would have never happened if I was president, by the way, I have to always preface it by saying it would have never, ever happened. Innocent men, women, children, and babies were tortured, maimed, kidnapped, and killed. It was an amazing sight, especially if you were able to see, and you don't want to necessarily see it, some of the tapes and film that was made of
Why do
the
you say it was
atrocity.
amazing? Why do you use that word?
It was a wake-up call for the entire world, and you have to take it that it is a wake-up call. Get smart. Instead, even here in America, Jewish citizens have been forced to endure the worst outbreak of anti-Semitism in many generations. And so many people shockingly even deny the attack took place. This is a new thing. I saw it recently where they're interviewing people. They said, well, we don't know if there was an attack. I don't know. It's just so terrible. And, you know, there were people I read many times during the Holocaust, we had people denying it. They were deniers. They said, we don't believe it ever took place. And it's a terrible thing when they say that. Anything like what's happening right now. I never thought you'd ever see a thing like this ever happen. It's beyond belief. You know, 15 years ago, Israel was the strongest lobby, if you want to use the word lobby, had the strongest representation of people like this. These are great people,
They still
Miriam.
do, right?
But the strongest there was, if you said something about a Jewish person or something about Israel that was bad, you were out of politics. Unless your
It's
name
the
was
same
Ted
thing.
Cruz. He could
Wait,
get
hold
through.
up. What's the
I think
difference?
Ted could get through, but maybe
What is he
not.
talking about? What is this dude talking about, man? It's the same thing, man. It's probably even worse now. What is he talking about, man? I think they had probably a little bit, and when the time he talking about, I think they had a little bit less influence than they do now. Come on, man. They got, I mean, look, they got so much influence to the point, man, where they got social media sites on lock. That's sad. Social media sites. So you know they got the regular mainstream media on lock. You know it.
Hey man, it's the
He's
same
full of it,
old
man.
game, man.
This dude be talking some.
I just
He don't be
told
knowing.
you. See,
They got on Kamala.
man.
Look, they got on Kamala, but this dude don't be. He's not the best articulator sometimes either, man. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like you saying you basically lying because that's not true because it's the same thing now. The Jews still have a lot of influence. They got more influence than they did before. These people could shut down anything, man. And guess what? They got, you know, people, the president of, you know, this, even of this site, you know, and all this, and then all these higher ups and stuff like that are them. So
that's right.
You know, if they, come on, man.
Here
He's
we
full
go.
of it, man. He lying, man.
I know you lying.
Maybe even Ted. But you said something about Israel that was bad. It was like today you have to fight. We all have to fight for Israel. I just never. I am so surprised to see it. But we're going to win the fight, so don't worry about it. Okay, we'll win the fight.
But why only Israel, right? Why only fight for them?
There are those that say it's very much like a long time ago when you could say anything. But all across our land, you've seen Jewish Americans harassed and attacked and terrorized by anti-Semites and Hamas sympathizers. I can't believe what we've been witnessing over the last year. Actually,
some news talking points, man. You know what I'm saying? And he even saying it like he's shocked, like, oh, like, you know, they could, you know, they take you off. You know, you say anything about them, like, is he? Man, he full of it, bro.
I tell you that, man.
I've watched it in great detail. I've watched it, and I've watched it take place. It's hard to believe, yet despite presiding over this explosion of anti-Semitism, Kamala Harris has done absolutely nothing. She has not lifted a single finger to protect you or to protect your children or to even protect you with words. I'm here today to tell the Jewish American community that this ugly tide of anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas bigotry and hate will be turned back and crushed starting at noon on January 20th, 2025. Thank you. Thank you. It will be a bright new day for the Jewish community in America. No longer will you have to walk the streets in fear. You're walking the streets in fear. Can you believe it? Young college students are afraid to go to college. It's not something that anybody thought they would ever hear or see. No longer will you be threatened on your college campuses. No longer will you be discriminated against in college admissions. And no longer will your own government import jihadists from.
Hi, Spencer Raskoff, co-founder and chair of Picasso, coming to you from Harvard, where when I'm not working on Picasso, I teach a course on entrepreneurship.
Places that we don't even want to talk about, and they want Jew haters from overseas, and they let them come in and resettle in your communities right here at home, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. My promise to Jewish Americans is this: with your vote, I will be your defender, your protector, and I will be the best friend Jewish Americans have ever had in the White House. You know that. Thank you. But in all fairness, I already am. I think I already am.
Well. I mean, sound nice, but but that's the way it goes, right? So, I mean, really? Well, one thing, Pioneer, about the deportation policies, that is true, but a lot of people don't know the deportation thing is also about the biometrics, and also could be the real ID as well, because you got to understand they want you to get a real ID by 2025. So there's a lot of things that going into the deportation thing. It's not just about no daggone deporting no immigrants. That's for sure. You do have to watch it. So
yeah, because they pushed that out here like 3 or 4 years ago, that real ID. It's like 2020 it was pushed.
Yeah. So that's
I remember that.
Where we get to that topic is, like I said, I'm gonna cover this topic really in depth. When I talked to Frank this month, I said we got to cover this and break this down, because a lot of people don't know. Matter of fact, when Pam Bondi was, last week, U.S. watch this. I think I'm joking. Now he just told you everything. U.S. House passes. Here you go.
A bill passing through Capitol Hill would give the Treasury Secretary the ability to revoke tax-exempt status for nonprofits. It's widely known as the Nonprofit Killer Bill, and some nonprofits are raising the alarm. They believe it could be used to shut down dissenting voices.
The Stop Terror Financing and Tax Penalties on American Hostages Act is broken into two parts. The first would allow people who were wrongfully detained overseas to not have to meet certain tax filing deadlines. It's widely popular. But the second part would allow the Treasury Secretary to revoke tax-exempt status from any nonprofit it labels as having assisted with terrorism. In the most recent vote, Arizona's Greg Stanton joined most Democrats in voting against it.
I made a decision that I was going to err on the side of protecting due process.
Mostly because there's few specifics about how a group could be labeled as terrorist supporting and the process they would go through before having their status stripped.
When I looked through this bill, I mean, it looks to me, it's really just comes down to that Treasury Secretary. There's not much of a process here to really determine whether or not someone fits into these guidelines, whether they should have their tax exempt status stripped. Is that a proper understanding of it?
Yeah, but people are very concerned of the lack of due process protections in that.
Stanton and other Democrats are concerned the Treasury Secretary would be acting under the specific direction of President-elect Trump to stop the operation of nonprofits that didn't agree with him.
We've heard these threats of retribution by the president. I hope and pray he doesn't move forward with that.
I reached out to the Trump transition team for their response to that and for an interview to discuss the bill. I did not receive a sent back by airtime. Stanton originally voted for the bill, but with a second chance last week, voted against it.
I heard from a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people and organizations that said that they were very concerned that this could be easily misused.
In Arizona, where many nonprofits work to help immigrants at the border, Stanton says it's possible that those groups may be particularly at risk.
That's part of it. But, well, they should be done. But here's the thing. U.S. House to vote.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill, guys. Just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that's actually made by...
U.S. legislators are set to vote on H.R. 9495, a bill granting the Treasury Department authority to revoke the tax-exempt status of nonprofits if it considers it supporters of terrorism. This has sparked concerns that the measure could target pro-Palestinian and other rights organizations. The Stop Terror Financing and Tax Penalties on American Hostages Act was introduced amid campus protests against Israel's actions in Gaza. Some pro-Palestinian groups have been labeled pro-Hamas by politicians and news outlets, fueling urgency around the bill. Especially,
here's my problem with it. The Palestinian group, nonprofits, I don't care about them, but if you got a child or somebody that's out there, they could be the target of this too. Because the ones that are getting paid is not they acting, but the people that get out there sucked into it, they can charge you with terrorism. So you got to be careful with that. Because these are movements that
sound like a setup, like y'all. I mean, like Pioneer be saying, sound like a setup.
Let's get to the news media. Cable news laying off. Intel to fire 14,000. UPS to lay off 400 workers. Stella's rallies for another round of layoffs. Walgreens announced 250 layoffs.
Damn.
100 laid off at PepsiCo. Boeing lays off 700 employees in Missouri. This was 7 days ago.
Wow.
Boeing cut 2,500 jobs. 70% of U.S. workers are prepared for job cuts.
What? 70%?
Yep.
Whoa.
Mobius employees react to layoffs. Fed needs to slow the rate of layoffs when thinking about job cuts. Black Friday layoffs coming. Boeing is trying to reach eventually 7,000 layoffs company-wide. So remember, you realize where I've been going with this layoff thing, right? News, media, stuff like that. You realize I've been going with that, right?
Oh yeah, the AI.
Not AI yet. We're getting the AI, but not yet. The U.S. is suffering. Watch this. They're gonna tell you.
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story. With a perfect.
According to the CDC, 3.6 million babies were born in 2023 in the U.S. That's about 76,000 fewer than the previous year and the lowest one-year tally since 1979. Joining us with the economic implications of the declining U.S. birth rate, Melissa Kearney is an economics professor at the University of Maryland. Good morning to you. Somehow every story relates back to Elon Musk one way or another, and this is an issue that he's been talking about for quite some time, Melissa. How bad is it, and when do we have to really start worrying about it?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me on, Andrew. So it's actually quite likely that in the not too distant future, the global population is going to decline. But in the U.S., we're facing a shrinking working age population pretty imminently. So I think that's something that we need to be worried about. Our working age population has been stagnant for a while. Births in the U.S. have been falling persistently and precipitously since 2007, and I don't see any reason to think they're going to turn around.
If you were going to do something about that, what would it be?
So unfortunately, the lesson we can learn from other high-income countries that have been expressly experimenting with pro-natalist policies really reveals that economic tinkering, some tax credits here or there, extended parental leave, that's not going to do it. So I think if what we want to do is just, hold steady birth rates, even at the low level they are, or turn them around to increase them, it's going to take a real big investment in families in this country, a lot more support, financial support, things that make it easier for parents to combine having kids and working, really a dramatic reorientation of society toward a more family-friendly society. Short of that, we have to think about how to. I mean,
we've been going the last 100 years the other direction, though. So, do you think there's a political? It would have to be a political will almost. What would be a good country to look at as an example of a country that's turned this the right direction?
Yeah, so this is actually a really interesting point. I think this is why this major challenge has snuck up on us, is because people have had in mind since the 1960s this misguided worry about overpopulation. So you're right, people have been celebrating declines in birth rates, and now all of a sudden we're starting to realize that that's actually going to be really bad for our fiscal situation and our economic dynamism. Who's turned it around? Japan has managed to stall the decline in birth rates. It's still, birth rates in Japan are still so low that they're far below replacement level. I suppose they haven't fallen out quite as far as South Korea. They've spent 4 times as much in terms of sharing their GDP on pro-family policies in recent decades. France has managed.
Replacement level. I was interested in replacement level. So replacement with what or who? Right? So I think that's kind of what she was saying.
I'm gonna show you.
That's what they're doing. Replacing them with either the AI or the immigrants or.
Here you go.
Interesting.
Hey man, look at man. You asked the question. I'm gonna give the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Here you go.
The Tesla robot at her mansion.
Okay. Hi. Can you do this? I love you. You know how to do that? Okay. What should we do?
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Go running. Let's go for a run. Do you know how to do? Oh, you are Hawaiian. Okay. Can you go like this, like blow a kiss? Yeah. Hand to the face.
Wow.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
You're so cute. How tall are you? Oh, running again. Yeah. You love to run. Oh, you're that tall.
Yeah.
I think you are.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
That is
sure.
crazy.
You stay fit by running. That running move gets me every time. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, raise the roof. Yep. Hey. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're a little slow, but I beat you.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make something that I saw on TikTok, these little French toast things. And let's see how it goes. Since North said I haven't cooked in 2 years?
Northy, come here. Northy, look what I'm making.
Okay, so you take the Hawaiian rolls and you cut them into little squares. And then we're going to melt ice cream to be the batter. Okay, so mixing the cinnamon and sugar to put after we put it in the batter. Okay, so they are looking good. How cute is this little spatula? It's like a tiny little spatula to flip them. They smell so good. Okay.
All right. Now you see that, right? That's her medicine with a robot, right?
Wow. Interesting. They using these celebrities, boy. I'm telling you. A Tesla bot.
Now, this is a long video right here, so I'm not gonna give you all this, but
We can go mad for mad. I can go Hulk and smash.
We're robots than men by 2025. There you go, right there. We'll be having more sex robots by 2025. You see that?
Wow.
Right?
That's what they want, huh?
So what I see, because when y'all get into the political conversation, it's good to know, but it's surface level. Right now, they are trying to replace humanity. That's what Elon Musk is about. He's about Tesla robotics, man. He's a technocrat. Okay? They're always telling you they're going to replace these workers. With what?
I know.
They're going to replace news media with AI. It's not a simple. It's not hard to figure this out, man. You just got to go look behind the grapevine, man. That's why I say I don't mind Trump, but I need to let you know that Dick Gregory told you, always pay attention to the shadow people. The shadow people got more power than you. Most of these presidents don't do nothing but sign deals, man. I showed you last night, CISA or CISA. That was 100% voted on by the Congress. 100%. The devil in the detail. So we keep looking at some magical devil or something like that, right?
To the devil in the detail. Fact.
Like I told you, and I don't care who this is. It can be, I know this might sound crazy, and people are going to hate me for it, but I got to take that. Anybody that promoted the Milky Way, as you say, right? From political, media, and even sometimes even some of your own family members and friends should be subject to prosecution. Because you try to set people up for extermination. You promoting bad food, bad meat, same thing. We got to stop giving people outs. I got a friend of mine, just putting it out there, you know. I mean, me and him get along. He a Mason. I just told him, hey, bro, that's cool. But guess what? Hey, look, me and you not going to agree on a lot of things. And no, I don't support you. So he talked to me, hey, how you doing, B? You know, blah, blah. We get along fine. Play ball and everything together. But at the end of the day, he know, bro, the spies go. When we start getting to the church and stuff like that, and I think he like a pastor or something. He's something in the church. I forget what he is, man. I tell him we're not gonna get along on that issue. But I just view him as lower level. You know, he done help me with stuff, I'd help him with stuff, right? But when it comes to these Masons in government, you should have no allegiance to them.
That's all true.
As a matter of fact, like I said about TD Jakes, can the church say amen? And if you kick the bucket, good riddance. I don't care. Matter of fact, Bishop, I know you might be in the chat, but you was pastor. I actually like Bishop. But to the rest of these lying asses, hey man, if you kick the bucket, I won't give a damn.
Wow.
Well, you're right about that. They don't have the real masonry. As a matter of fact, but let me go to these AI newscasters. I just want to put this out. See, I'm bringing. Hey, look, Frank. I told you they had me locked in for probably about 2 months. I said I got to come back with the real deal on them. Shit, they might ban.
That's not how they do you like that, though.
Hey, look, I ain't even really. I mean, you know. Watch this. AI strikes again.
On Monday, a fabricated AI-generated image gained significant traction on social media. The image portrayed a tall, dark gray plume of smoke, giving the impression of an explosion within the Pentagon complex. The US Department of Defense quickly confirmed that the image was a product of AI, had no basis in reality. But despite the clarification, the virality of this image had already led to some unintended consequences. According to reports, the circulation of the fake image led to a brief decline in the stock market. The dissemination of false information, especially concerning a sensitive location like the Pentagon, can potentially trigger concerns among investors and lead to temporary market fluctuations. This incident, it serves as a reminder of the growing concerns surrounding AI-generated misinformation.
There you go.
Yeah, they all the same.
Let me do something. I'm gonna be nice about it, you know, for the next 15, 20 minutes. Let me put a number out there. I'm pretty sure people might want to talk about this. If you got my personal number, you can call my phone. Shoot. Oh man. Damn. Shit. They gonna hate me for this, man. from Mexico. The hell? Hold on a minute. Hold on, let me give me a phone number right quick. Hold on. Oh shoot. Here we go. Why they tell me all this stuff? Press and hold to tell if I'm not a bot. What the hell? See, you can't even do that right, can you, man? All right, they say, "Hey Frank, it's me. I'm not a bot, okay? I'm not a bot, okay?" All right, look. Anybody want to call in? 80. Well, let me put it in chat. 804-480-6802. If you mad at me, just say you mad. I really don't care. If you got my personal number, you can call me and talk about it as well. I'm open to, I'm open to anything right now, man.
Hey, the Pioneer, what Pioneer say?
The same man claims he would grab weapon, train how to kill him, and call himself. So where's his faith in Jesus?
Man, that's real. See, that's why everything is interchangeable with these people, man. They could be this religion, that religion, they could be this kind of Caucasian, this kind of white. You know what I mean? It's just like, they could be Democrat, Republican. It's just they're just full of it, to be honest with you. To me, these people are just so interchangeable, man. They just good, bad, they be for Israel, not for it. It just, that's why, man, it's just tricky. These politicians think this politics is so tricky, man.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look.
Yo, why that Pioneer say?
Hey, yo. I hope you don't have. Hey, look, man. If they call me, man. Hey, look, dude. I'm a person that, I got to deal with it. I mean, it's part of society. But hey, man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you want to get out the mind of being a slave, you got to know what I'm telling you.
That's right. That's facts, man.
So, I mean, if you want to get mad with me, you can't argue what I done showed you today.
What about the what you think about the tariff thing, man? They kind of like hyping it. We gotta wait till he gets in office.
Dang, Shaq. Well, hold on. Shaq got in here. Hold on. We get to that in a second.
Yo.
Shaq.
You take some good shit. You need to go your
Shaq, what's up, man?
This dude, Pioneer, you a fool, man. Pioneer, you wild. Shaq, what up, man? Yeah, man.
Well,
what you think about them tariffs and shit, man?
I mean, it's got its benefits.
Right.
I mean, it's got its benefits. I mean, as far as, force a company to make American, but here's the deal. What I told you. I just showed you got population reduction. So, and a lot of AI coming in. Could it benefit the AI more this time?
Some more funding for the AI.
Yeah, because AI is the thing. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. I mean, the program is 7 hours ago, but he calling up talking about some old crazy shit on the phone. Well,
wow.
I'm gonna be dead honest with you, man. I ain't got a lot of time for crazy conversations right now because I'm trying to give you. Now watch this. I'm gonna show you something else. Remember they talk about Project 2025. They tell you about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Budget Control Act. This was in by Obama. Wait a minute. Sequestrates a mechanism in the Budget Control Act of 2011 that automatically reduces spending if Congress doesn't agree to budget cuts. Sequestration affected some program more than others. For example, Social Security, veterans benefit, most healthcare spending was exempt, except for Medicare and other health programs. Same spending reduction from the VCL, while certain reductions not expected to be phased out until 2032. Budget Control Act of 2011. This same thing really is Project 2025.
White folks don't have a problem with abortion as long as it's black and white.
Pell Grade funding was increased, but other financial aid was cut. Graduate and professional students were no longer eligible for interest subsidized loans. Repayment system would also be done away after July 1st, 2012. Okay. Okay, 2012 election and layoff impacts. 1988 federal law requires most United States employees to provide 60 calendar notice advance notice of plant closure and mass layoffs, with the sequestration due to take effect. Several U.S. companies with large federal contracts being publicly discussed in the summer of 2012 to require layoffs that will be required to bring their workforce in line with the reductions in federal spending. 394. 394-page White House report was issued in mid-September, outlining the millions of dollars in cuts that would be required in January 2013 unless U.S. law is changed prior to January 2nd, 2013. They also had defense sequestration, where they had budget cuts to the defense. So when you look at Project 2025, it's really the same thing. Yeah. So.
And that's when Obama was in office, right?
Yep. As a matter of fact, they both supported Trump and Heritage Foundation. That's right. As a matter of fact,
he didn't hear nothing about it after that. Boy.
Let me see.
And there was a donor that they donated to her campaign. It was a treasury for Heritage Foundation, treasurer or something. Somebody, one of the people donated to their Kamala Harris's campaign. I want to support Trump and Harris unless that both of them stand for the same damn thing. Ooh, right, Pioneer. That's true. Right. If you had different political interests, why would you support both of them? That's true. That's a good point. Man, but the But see that you just like you donate, fund both sides of the war, man. Mm.
Right.
And that budget control thing what's the name? It cut some of the funding to some of those social programs too, huh? Mm. Mm. What you about to play, BJ? You about to play something? Yeah, I was thinking like you might think he's playing something about to play or something.
Oh, I thought I just played it. I just showed you the thing with the Heritage Foundation.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Doug Schoen, can you
You gotta fund both sides. You gotta get this money, man.
What your book's about?
Yeah, the book Mad as Hell talks about how the Tea Party movement is remaking our two-party system. We took a look at who the Tea Party activists are and how it grew to this powerful force that we're seeing across the nation. Did a lot of independent research, interviews with Tea Party activists. We also did a lot of interviews with people who would be in the political elite. And one of the things that we are consistently seeing is that the Tea Party movement is helping to define a huge divide in American politics. It's not between Republicans and Democrats. It's between the political class and mainstream Americans. That gap is huge. On a very basic issue, mainstream Americans believe that reducing spending and deficits is the best thing the government can do to help the economy. The political class believes that higher deficits and more government spending is the way to help grow the economy.
So the Tea Party movement has been dismissed by many as an extreme movement with no real staying power. In your book, you push back on the description. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, look, first of all, it's an authentic grassroots movement. This is something that is hard for political pros to understand because it wasn't set up with a direct mail list. It wasn't set up with a campaign organization. It was people coming together using new technologies and the social media capabilities and a whole bunch of other tools to share common frustrations. A lot of them have never been involved in politics before, so they're not quite sure how to play the game. But the thing that makes it a real movement with some legs is while the Tea Party activists are vocal and loud and annoying to some people, their basic concerns are shared by a majority of voters, a majority of Americans nationwide. They tend to want less government spending, taxes, and deficits, and they want the government to listen to the people. That's a view that is, again, shared by a solid majority throughout the nation.
After Obamacare passed this spring, we were told that the public would eventually warm to the new law, which obviously hasn't happened. Why has the administration been so unsuccessful in turning public opinion?
The public opinion about the health care law has been stable for a year and a half. And when the president first announced it as an initiative in his administration, it got modestly positive reviews. That all changed in a single moment when the Congressional Budget Office said it would cost $1 trillion. Most Americans wanted health care reform to reduce the cost of care. The minute they put that price tag on, people said, no, this isn't what we're looking for. And the more the debate went on, the more it became clear that this was going to be a bigger government role, more government spending, and that's something that was just not where most voters were heading. Most Democrats continue to strongly support the plan. Republicans and unaffiliated voters do not, and it gets right back to the core issues of cost. Today, 81% of Americans believe the program will cost more than projected. 6 out of 10 believe it will increase the federal budget deficit. Most believe it will increase.
Now, let me tell you where he lying at. Yo, what's up, man?
Yo.
Peace.
What's up, man?
What's good? What's good, man?
Salute.
Yeah, you came on kind of way late in this thing, boy. And we've been like this jump 2 hours breaking down and all. You got to,
Oh, yeah?
you're gonna have to go watch the rest of this thing. This thing was a master class in this thing today, man.
Well, you might as well be on the whole day.
Now,
don't just give him 2 hours. Then. Still, don't just give him 2 hours. Cheat them.
I'm
Frank,
gonna
man.
get out. No, I'm gonna get out in the next 15 minutes. I got stuff I gotta handle stuff.
I'm cheating people. No.
I only get. Hey, look. Chuck Schumer.
He Pioneer. What you talking? What Pioneer talking about? Yeah, these fine ass Candace Owens out there surrounded by conservative white dudes, grinding and slobbering all over. Jeez, dude.
The booker. What they call it? Yeah, they're milking. You out there milking the Republicans.
Man, I'm telling you. The propaganda is real, you know, on both sides, the propaganda is real,
man.
You're fine.
So this was when the
wow, look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important to an organization's success.
Well, welcome. So laughingstock. The ICC charges Netanyahu and Gallant are guilty of the war crime of starvation as a method of warfare and the crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other inhumane acts.
We are accused of deliberately harming civilians while we are doing everything to prevent harm to civilians. We are accused of starving a population while we are bringing hundreds of thousands of tons of food to feed the population.
The ICC's charges came amid evidence of another international organization's bias against Israel. A new report from the group UN Watch said a former United Nations Relief and Works Agency Commissioner General held a secret meeting in 2017 with terrorist groups including Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. There, the UNRWA chief reportedly told them, "We are one, and no one can separate us." As for the ICC warrants, they mean Netanyahu or Gallant could be arrested if they go to certain countries accepting the court's authority. Nations such as Ireland and the Netherlands agreed right away to do it if given the chance.
And to those countries, Netanyahu won't be able to travel, and that's a very, very big thing.
Netanyahu's hoping for a tough backlash against the court.
This decision will have severe consequences for the ICC and those who cooperate with its decision.
President-elect Trump's soon-to-be national security advisor, Congressman Mike Waltz, promises you can expect a strong response to the anti-Semitic bias of the ICC and UN come January. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCall and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham want Senate Leader Chuck Schumer to bring up a bill for a vote that the House has already passed. The measure, called the Illegitimate Court Counteraction Act, Senate Bill 224, would impose sanctions on ICC employees or associates who aid this effort to prosecute Israeli leaders. Graham tweeted, "The court is a dangerous joke. It's now time for the Senate to act and sanction this irresponsible body." Paul Strand, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is with us now live from Jerusalem. So the court is claiming Israel is using starvation to punish the people in Gaza. What is Israel? How are they responding?
Well, Israel says they've supplied, since the war began, Gordon, 1.1 million tons of food by air, land, and sea, including more than 56,000 trucks. Sends about 200 trucks filled with humanitarian aid each day into Gaza. That includes food, medical supplies, water, enough for 3,200 calories for every man, woman, and child in Gaza. In addition, Gordon, they have facilitated the vaccination of 97% of Gazans against polio. And, you know, in a recent Channel 12 report here in Israel, they concluded Hamas steals most of the food, sells it to their population, and by that, they've made about $500 million so they can recruit more fighters. So according to that report, Israel's aid is actually the main oxygen pipeline for Hamas. So it's aiding the very terror group it's fighting. So on the one hand, it fights the enemy. On the other hand, it gives its oxygen it needs to fight. So that's the
Interesting. You on mute?
I said that Chak, you since you're late, I just want to say we showed the thing about all of them: Trump, Biden, Al Sharpton, Joy Reid, actresses, IMDb. All you gotta do is look it up. Ari Emanuel, who was the agent, you had he was at the anti-Semitism conference saying that people don't believe the Holocaust and Holocaust deniers, and basically that he was gonna, put a stop to that. Played thing with Biden talking about it. We played thing about Palantir, all these agencies, and basically it's saying that if you boycott Israel and you anti-Semitism, you could, lose business or whatever. So we played a lot of that. And that Palantir and all these companies are putting it into NSA and, stealing getting your data and basically feeding it to them. And then they use the sales pitch, but they really going the same thing. And really the anti-Semitism is not about anti-Semitism, it's about censoring you. That's what it's really about. So we played all that. Y'all any thoughts on that, Shaq? Any thoughts? Oh, also women having sex with robots by 2025 more than men. And Kim Kardashian was blowing kisses at a Tesla robot. And a lot of layoffs and things like that of that accord happened.
You have officially been screwed, chopped and screwed.
Trump and Eric Adams meeting with the big black hat, small hat. They were at the grave, they even had the yarmulke on or whatever. Right? So what I just showed you that the policies may be different. Same. The woman who brought Trump out donated $100 million to his campaign. Her husband was a casino guy, and Ari Emanuel from Endeavor benefited the most from. He benefited a lot for Trump being president because he got the UFC thing is big, so that's why after that they had the UFC fighting you saw Trump come out there to the UFC fight. So it's politics and business is working together. So just point it out to you. All right. Let's say one more thing for last. I don't want to forget this. The man, the legend, the lift. You know who he is.
Uh-oh. This dude. Oh, tell it, baby, look at.
The history of the 100 years of building a better world. No. I forget him because I need to pull this other thing up because that's what I meant to tell you. Anti-Semitism. Here we go. I don't know why. I ain't saying nothing about no daggone Kyrie Irving. I don't know why they pulled that up. Yeah, oh, that's funny. Hey, wait a minute, man. I pulled up anti-Semitism on gaming platforms, man. I ain't saying nothing about no daggone Kyrie Irving, man. What the hell? Whatever. The ADL just had a.
Welcome to the ADL's 30th annual In Concert Against Hate. It's a very tough time in the world right now. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. I was worried about hosting the show because people might realize I'm Jewish. For 30 years, I've been pretty discreet about my heritage, disappearing into a diverse array of characters like Chaz Tenenbaum, Ted Stroman, Josh Kovacs, Josh Shrebnick, Matthew Meyerowitz, Roger Greenberg, Ruben Pfeffer, Gaylord Fokker. What it's standing for is people standing up to hate. It's about positivity. It's about hope. So this evening is about those heroes who are doing that, who are standing up and making a difference.
Hate is prevalent more than it should be, unless you directly.
Well, you know what?
And shine a light on it.
They don't talk about hate when it comes down to us, though.
They shine a light on it and fight against it.
At ADL, we have been working nonstop.
You notice that when it comes down to us, we're the hate, you know, when we're receiving hate, these motherfuckers ain't our allies. When it comes out, you know, I know you notice that, but when it comes when they want us to feel sympathetic and empathetic for them, then they want everybody to be all on board.
Well, they just had a concert 3 days ago talking about it, so.
He said he looked like Steve from Jerry Springer.
Well, yeah. So that's probably pretty much the deal on that, but they just had a concert about it. So. Now. Well, the ADL headquarters in New York, actually, that's one of the headquarters. They got one in DC too, but well, they should. I think they should be sued, but who will sue them?
Should everybody for themselves, right? And then I know they are supposed to be for everybody. See how they talk about civil rights or this or that, but see that civil rights that's under that color of law, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not for everybody, man. You know, or we thought it was just supposed to, it is for everybody, excuse me, but us. We thought it was supposed to be solely for black people. That's the whole bait and switch thing they did back in the 60s, man. Use Martin Luther King, use Rosa Parks, all of them, you know, it was the face of all this, man. And, you know, just to push this propaganda too, man, and push that integration on us, which was one of the worst things, man. We could have did. You know.
Well, ADL Sword joins MSNBC to discuss. Here you go.
The Anti-Defamation League held its landmark 30th annual In Concert Against Hate event at the Kennedy Center last night. The benefit first began as a special event marking the 50th anniversary of the end of the Holocaust. And now it celebrates those everyday heroes who take action in the face of bigotry. The star-studded event was emceed by award-winning actor Ben Stiller and included performances from world-class musicians, including Grammy Award winner Sia, also in attendance Holocaust survivor Rosette Goldstein. Joining us now, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. It's great to have you on the show. There are so many different things to talk about. Willie, I'll have you start off.
All right. So, Jonathan, put in context that night last night, star-studded, glossy event, but deadly serious issues at the center of this that we've been talking about with you for a long time now, and more intensely, let's say, in the last year and a half or so. What was front and center last night, and what should people be thinking about moving forward here?
Well, last night was really electric. You had a sold-out Kennedy Center. Ben Stiller as the MC, as we saw, and honoring these heroes. And I think this was a reminder that people can push back against prejudice if they choose. We honor Dr. Mehnaz Afridi, who is a Muslim professor at Manhattan College, who has taught her Muslim and Jewish students how to work together as they memorialize the Holocaust. We celebrated Dr. Charles Chavez, who's a professor at George Mason University, who's done work around racial healing. And of course, we honored Scooter Braun, the Grammy Award-winning producer who brought the Nova exhibit here to the United States. And Scooter was amazing. His speech was extraordinary. And so, look, last night was one of these amazing things that can happen sometimes in Washington, D.C., where you get beyond the rhetoric and beyond all the noise, and folks come together for a bigger purpose. And this bigger purpose was fighting hate. We can do it if we dig deep and try.
And Jonathan, this comes against the backdrop of what's happening in Europe right now. You've got a new piece in USA Today titled "Anti-Semitic Attacks in Europe Are a Dire Warning to Jews in the U.S." We may be next. In it, you chronicle your recent trip to Europe amid a string of anti-Semitic violence there, writing, quote, "Raging anti-Semitism in Europe this month has been whitewashed with ridiculous labels like hooliganism and violence tied to a soccer game. Let's put an end to the gaslighting." Jonathan continues, "Just hours after the attack, I traveled to Amsterdam. I wanted to hear directly from the Jewish community and political leaders, and what I heard was nothing short of an emergency." So, Jonathan, if you could elaborate on those conversations, what did you hear?
It was astonishing. So I flew out to Amsterdam literally right after I heard about the attacks. I met with the Jewish community leadership. I met with elected officials. I met with the prime minister. And what I heard again and again was what happened that Thursday night was like nothing they'd seen in generations. Literally, Willie, after the soccer game, there were dozens and dozens of coordinated attacks against Jewish people all over the city. So literally coordinated by cab drivers who used WhatsApp and Telegram. They staged a Jew hunt, is the term that they used, and with pipes, with knives, with clubs. They beat and assaulted individuals whose only crime was, they were Jewish. And this didn't, barely raise an eyebrow here in America. But this is what globalized the Intifada looks like. This is where violent rhetoric leads you. And I went from Amsterdam to Berlin.
Did they have anything? That's my thing, dude. I mean, my bad. I just be tripping like, they didn't. Anything because they were Jewish. Like, how would anybody know?
Hey, Shaq, what do you think about this, man? What do you think about this? Ben Stiller, all these people have a nice little concert. Only problem is I'm trying to find out half of their own concert. If you fight,
sound like money.
Wait, just a party? Are you serious, man? What you doing? What is this? Sport and play?
Mm.
They support their people. They support their religion. They support their cause. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
You can't be mad at them supporting their own.
You know what? I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Look, I will get them that. They do. Well, Scooter Braun, I think it's Taylor Swift's manager too, but they have the right to support their cause. But the problem is they support their cause and want to demonize everybody else.
Mm. Yeah, that's the type of people they are, man.
Now, I mean,
Pioneers too.
here goes what's your girl name? Savvy Sabs.
I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime.
Get Max for $2.99 a month for 6 months.
And paid for by AIPAC. So once you understand this, and once you see this video, you will understand why nothing is getting done for the Black community. They're not passing any bills for the Black community. That so-called reparations bill that people keep asking Jim Clyburn about, which actually isn't real reparations, there is a reason why they are not moving on these pieces of legislation. They don't intend to. They exist there in Congress only for symbolic reasons and for you to think that you have representation when you do not. Friend of the show, Roger Meadows, sent this to me. This was on Phil Scott's show. I don't know if you guys follow Phil Scott. If not, you should check him out. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on enough. I want you to hear what AIPAC says here about the Black politicians that they not only recruit, but they also seek out. I warned you, they were looking for people not just in college, but also when they are in high school. They start early. Listen to what they say.
So I think you know that AIPAC is both a grassroots organization.
For us, why?
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why this video, why I did that. Here we go.
And also a leadership empowerment organization. So a particular concern to us are not African Americans, but those African Americans.
Let me go back.
Let's go on and cue this up real quick. Let me go find the clip. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and cue this up. Listen closely.
So I think you know that AIPAC is both a grassroots organization and also a leadership empowerment organization. So a particular concern to us are not African Americans, but those African Americans that will be part of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Pause.
Wow.
So here is AIPAC letting you know that they're not really interested in what Black people need. They're not interested in the Black community. They're not interested in these African Americans. But what they're interested in is recruiting Black Americans that will be a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. Does anyone not find that to be problematic? They're not thinking about your needs. They ain't thinking about no damn reparations. They're not thinking about Black people to be a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. Let's continue.
Those African Americans that will be governors, those African Americans that will be part of the cabinet of successive administrations. And we have been rather successful in identifying young emerging political leaders, sometimes when they're in their teens, sometimes when they're on college campuses, sometimes when they're just getting into state politics, and sometimes when they first emerge as congressional candidates. AIPAC built a relationship with Barack Obama before he was a president, before he was a presidential candidate, before he was a U.S. senator. We built a relationship with him before he was in the Illinois State House.
Pause. Everybody pay attention to what they just said. They built a relationship with Barack Obama before he was even in the Illinois State House. These people were selected. They win a majority of their races. The candidates that have the backing and support of AIPAC are more likely to win. AIPAC has a video they've created. It's on social media where they're talking about, they're bragging about how they win most of their races. When I tell you these people were selected, they were selected. When I told you that they recruit certain.
All right, let's break that down. So, Shaq, when you say they're selected, you are absolutely correct. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter who you vote for. They are selected.
Oh, for sure.
So, like I said, if you don't got the money, you don't control the politician. They win the majority of their races. You may have one that slipped through the cracks, like Thomas Massey. Maybe.
Yeah, that was his name, Thomas Massey. He's against all that, right? Thomas Massey. Okay.
He doesn't take a donation from Israel, but that's one of the only ones. As a matter of fact, that's why I said if I was, if you wanted to vote, that's the only person you should put your name down for. Anybody got to getting donation from Israel, you shouldn't vote for them because they are really against, really what's going on. I mean, that's why they switch back and forth and they're politically convenient. They shapeshifters. But Shaq is right. They do have the right to protect their cause. But you need to worry about protecting your cause, not trying to get everybody else involved in yours. And stop trying to censor everybody because Reed pointed out. So just pointing that out to you.
Man, they control, you control the Congressional Black Caucus. That's a wrap. We ain't got nothing to discuss with them no more. Get their ass out of there, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, you're right.
Seriously.
They are purposely for you is host a fish fry. That when it comes to legislation, he don't really got to push nothing for the Black community because that's not what he's there for anyway. He's not there to serve you. He's just there to make you think you have representation. He can say, I look like you. And as long as you think I look like you, and that's enough, I ain't really got to do nothing for you. Puppets. Now, speak up. Who are they? This is who they are. So you can see for yourself. Don't run and hide from Sabby. Show them your face. These are the members of the Congressional Black Caucus. We ain't got to go through everybody's name, but we're going to point out a few. And if you live in their district, you let me know what they did for you. Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters was on camera about a year or two ago telling people to go home. She told homeless people to go home when they showed up to get vouchers. James Clyburn, Mr. Fish Fry, who yelled at Black activists when they asked him about the reparations bill, Get out of my face. What you talking about? These are some of these people you probably don't even know. Bobby, I don't even know who the hell you are. But some of the ones that you do know, Barbara Lee, she can be good on some issues, but a lot of times in the end, she end up going with the status quo too. You know, she show up every now and then and take a stand and then sit right back down. That's Barbara Lee. We'll continue to go down the list. Look at all the people.
Hank Johnson Jeffries, McKinney's spot.
The greatest bougie ass kissing
Hank Johnson
token of them all. Hakeem Jeffries knows better. Hakeem Jeffries knows about radicalism. He knows that the Black community is obviously underserved and needs a lot of things, but you rarely hear Hakeem Jeffries talk about it. Every time I see Hakeem Jeffries in an interview, how often do you hear him talking about, here's what we can do to help the Black community? How often? And I'm not talking about that little sit down that he had with Jamal Bowman about let's make hip hop a holiday. Hakeem Jeffries is there to virtue signal too. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that just because he has the same complexion that he's there fighting for Black community. He's not. Hip Hop Day. Get out of here. You got Frederica S. Wilson. She's another one that is greatly taking advantage of Black people. And some of you are wondering, how do they continue to win? You know how they win? Because most Black people don't vote. You know how they win? White liberals. So I'm gonna need for you to tell the white liberals, if you live in their districts, the white liberals in those districts, I'm gonna need for you guys to let them know, why are you supporting these people when they are not helping the Black community? White people, I'm gonna say something to you too. If you're white and you live in their district and you've been supporting them, stop supporting them. Oh, well, what is happening here? That's how they get in. It's the same thing with Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn ain't winning because he's doing a great job. Black people ain't rushing out to vote for him. Marcel Dixon told you he'd been on the show multiple times, and Marcel Dixon let you know that it's white liberals who are coming out to support Jim Clyburn. So we got to talk to everybody. We can't just talk to other Black people. We got to talk to our white comrades as well and tell them they are not helping the Black community. Let's go on. Here's Cory Booker.
What you mean by comrade?
Takes a lot of money from AIPAC. Him and Hakeem Jeffries take a lot. Cory Booker.
You down with the communist?
I went to Stanford. Now Cory Booker.
Yeah, he's talking about
be the
comrade.
first one to let you know how his parents were discriminated against when they were trying to buy a house in New Jersey because of the color of their skin. He's told that story so many times. But how often is Cory Booker out there pushing legislation to help the Black community? Do not come back to me and say, well, he moved to Newark to live in the projects to help the people there. That was before he got into Congress, goddammit. Once he got into Congress, it was done. And I don't really care too much for people, cosplaying. Like, I don't really like people cosplaying poor, Like, Cory Booker was not poor. He grew up in a nice suburb in New Jersey. He went to Stanford, and then
Yes, he went to Stanford. That's right. So he went to Stanford. So if you know he went to Stanford, then Stanford has they basically run a lot of CIA operations. Now look, check this out. This down here by me, St. Augustine University.
The pioneer, you stupid. Pioneer, you a fool, man. I love you. A little self. A little Sabrina.
Yeah. I'm supposed to come up.
Pioneers should be funny, man. I wouldn't be surprised, Pioneer, if she was. I wouldn't be surprised. All of them,
Okay,
know,
St. Augustine University signs deal worth $70 million. Right here. This is St. Augustine, right? But they signed a deal the other day, and they're gonna lay off 50% of their staff.
Stop dreaming of your dream home. Let's make it real. What I see a lot of times is people will.
Well-known HBCU.
An email hit the inbox of the St. Augustine's community Saturday. The university cutting its number of employees in half. The chair of the board's finance committee wrote, "While we recognize the seriousness of these financial adjustments, these decisions are essential for safeguarding the future of St. Augustine's University and the students we serve." Breaking down the numbers, St. Augustine's is slashing 67 staff positions, 37 full-time faculty, and 32 adjunct faculty. SAU is also discontinuing several programs and working to settle debt with vendors. The university says it's part of an overall strategy that included cutting expenses by roughly $17 million this year. The university's chief operating officer wrote, "The steps we take today symbolize our dedication to a financially secure future," a move that the university says shows its commitment to financial stability.
They just signed a deal the other day for $70 million, by the way.
Today, St. Augustine's University announced a new partnership with a development firm they say will raise $70 million. The announcement, though, was pretty short on details.
The university continues to navigate through a difficult financial situation. CBS 17's Harrison Grubb tells us about this partnership.
With uncertainty still swirling around the future of St. Augustine's University, school leaders hope a new partnership will help ongoing financial troubles.
I want to know how we got here.
St. Aug's is partnering with 50+1 Sports, a Florida-based development firm which the university expects will generate $70 million. Florida business records show the company has only been active for a little more than 2 years. In a statement, the chairman of the board of trustees said in part, quote, "This agreement marks a pivotal moment for SAU as we embrace future growth."
We're about making sure that the university survives and moves forward. So anything like this is a plus, but it also raises a lot of other questions.
Benjamin Johnson is part of Save SAU, a movement dedicated to preserving the university.
I learned St. Aug's alma mater, the blue and white, before I knew the Star Spangled Banner.
He says navigating through the university's financial struggles and accreditation battles has been more than challenging.
Is it personal? I don't know if you can make it more than personal.
He's also concerned about the university's recent decision to cut half its faculty, marking recent weeks of potential positives and negatives.
Just trying to make sure that understand all the pieces in play and how that will work. And with this timeline, which now is very critical.
And that was Harrison Grubb reporting. Now, I did speak with Monty Valry. That's the owner of 50+1.
Cleveland State University begins layoffs. So a lot of these HBCUs are either closing or getting rid of staff.
Interesting. Sounds like the economy's doing real good, huh? Yeah, dude. A lot of technology going on, man. Straight up. Sounds like shit is doing real. America's doing real fine right now.
Yep. They cut. Yep. So what I'm saying is we have to know these things in order to have better conversations about the real issues. Just saying. I mean, I'm not, but it just doesn't add up in the grand scheme of things for the people. So, but I think people will, get this stuff straight when it gets down to the nitty gritty. I do believe that. I think we're going to do good. I mean, I think some of us will be well, but you need to get real people, because this is plantation politics and it's oligarchies. As I showed you numbers. Matter of fact, before I go, I'll show you one more time, Chak, since you weren't on here when I did it. Chak, you still there?
Yeah, I was trying to. Did you get that link I sent you, Charleston White?
Man.
What did he do?
You on today or yesterday?
Nah, it was about a day or two ago. He was up in one of them. I think it was, matter of fact, I think it was in like the it might have been in the town meeting or somewhere in Dallas. I think he was standing up speaking with the people in the house or some shit or something, and they put him out the meeting.
They put him out the meeting for what?
Yeah.
Well,
He was going in. He was speaking up for us, man. Going in and telling them, they was talking about the words he was using was uncivil. He was like, "Y'all been uncivil to us. You ain't see that? You ain't see that clip yet?" They gonna probably try to hide their clips from social media. I'm trying to find it. I thought I sent it
I'll
to
put it
y'all.
through my phone, but I get it through my phone. But here you go, Dad Chak. This was the money that went from Israel to U.S. senators from 1990 to 2004. Joe Biden got $4 million. Menendez, I already pointed out the Israeli woman Adelson that gave $100 million to Trump for his last campaign. For in PACs, actually, more like PACs and political action groups. And then he came out and did a speech on anti-Semitism. Christine Gillibrand, Ben Cardin, stuff in the like. So there you go. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Cause I gotta get
Pioneer, you too much. You right though. These people, they have a Hemi truck talking about gas prices, but then talk about prices of food going up. Like, when you drive a mother, crazy, man. People, but see, it makes it to where our priorities are all wrong, man. This society, man. American priorities are wrong. So, it's so busy focusing on foreign policy instead because domestic policy. Remember, that's the policy for us. You know what I'm saying? That's when we come down to the American people. You know what I mean? And policy and law stuff like that for American people. So that's important. That that foreign policy, I don't think that to me that's not important. I mean, in certain aspects is important as far as safety, American safety and stuff from other and imports and stuff for certain countries. But other than that, they're making this foreign policy. They're putting way too much into it, man. That money, time, effort, propaganda, all this. You know what I'm saying? Into this foreign policy. You know what I'm saying, y'all?
One more thing. I don't know where that bag on. So bird flu coming back.
Man.
Somebody commented on my live video saying it looks like I'm throwing papers in a washing machine. This is not paper.
Check your refrigerators. There's a milk recall. Bird flu, or H1N1, has been detected in a batch of raw milk sold in some California stores. The state's Department of Health said people should not drink it. The milk of concern is packaged by Raw Farm. The company has now put out a voluntary recall, which has a best buy date of November 27th.
So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you that the raw milk recall and things like that. So, yeah, but people just got to understand what's going on and draw their own conclusions. But I've shown you enough. Got to run out, take a shower, get some things done. And now I got to work on some music as well for another event. Nephews went good. What day was that? Sunday. Things like that. Recalls are just, basically what it is, right? So it is what it is.
Good show, man. I'm glad you're back on. You feel me?
I mean, I know we talked about that. They may take this down now. I mean, it is what it is, though. But if they do. But I just showed it to you. At least I got to show it to you.
For sure,
right?
sure.
Go ahead, Frank. Shout out to information, man.
Word, man. And y'all can follow me at XX Frank Nitty XX YouTube, on Instagram, and then Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram. Good show, bro. You know what I'm saying? Keep up the good work. You know what I mean? Keep giving them this good information, man.
All right, thank you, man. Pioneer, thank you, everybody joining. Shaq, what you got, man? Shaq. Mm-hmm. Shaq, you there?
How do you know they're good? Yep. Did you find that clip?
Nah, I ain't finding it. I looked for the Instagram.
Yeah, they must have hit them already. I found another clip where he was going in on the city council. So yeah, I've been going on these city councils, man. These city council meetings and stuff, man.
Oh, wait, they say you're busy basing the turkey. As a matter of fact, them turkey legs kind of big. I wouldn't eat them. I would, but I'll come on and do another show maybe in the next couple of days. We'll get to that shot some white things. But,
they be in Dallas, they be in everywhere. You just gotta find out where they be at. They be in your county. Like you gotta go see your county, like you know what I'm saying, the city and county stuff.
You not done.
Fact.
Yeah, man, we gotta get in them things, man. We gotta find out these cities where these things. Let them know we here, bro. Like, cause you know what I'm saying. These people be sitting on these council things and shit, bro, and there don't be nobody that represent us, man. And then when people try to represent us, they be by themselves, and they easy just dismiss anything you be saying. Like they sitting there, like like they got them gods or some shit. You know what I mean? These are sick people, bro. Sick, evil people. They might not even be people.
Nah, they probably that. But
what happens to people like that, man? You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, denying the people, just denying. That's all.
But Shaq, go ahead and shout out your information. All right, well, he's an amazing Shaq Wilder right here on YouTube. Shaq, it was Instagram. Curious Air was on Facebook. Oh,
What? No, it's Shaq Wall on Instagram.
Shaq
You know
Wall.
they were tripping with my Instagram, man. They wouldn't let me. Well, I tried to go live. Soon as I started talking about it, they ended but quick within 2 seconds.
Well, as much information I've been showing there, I wouldn't be surprised if it. I ain't say nothing that ain't the controversial, but they might do it. So whatever.
You said it was controversial. Bro, you've been out for 2 months. You are controversial.
Hey man.
Right.
Hey look, man.
Look, this the fact that your anything could pop up say live is controversial. You ain't gotta say nothing. Just sit there like 15, 20 minutes.
Well, I showed you all the receipts. Well, I didn't show you all because it's so much more I got to get to, but I just got this one today. But that I showed you who getting the money, who giving the money, that all of them, Black Caucus, all of them been in the U.S. government. They saying, hey, look, you giving y'all, you saying Benjamin Netanyahu guilty of war crime. We're gonna sanction you, put targets on you, condemning the court for what they did. So, showed how Benjamin Netanyahu was instrumental to Trump's presidency and things like that as well. So that's how it goes. So when I tell people it's not your fight, it's really not your fight because you got two sets of the hats working together. Some people call it the black hat and the white hat. I just call it J Street and K Street. But you got to know who's who, right? And both sides, for the most part, support back in the Zionist state. That's your Christian evangelists, Judeo-Christians, some of your Muslims, imams,
does it really got anything to do with religion or something else behind?
For me to cap this all off, you got to stop the religious state. You start there.
Right.
You pastor coming to me talking religion, get the hell out of my face. Okay?
Right. Religion, baby.
You supporting these people. Okay?
All this stuff, the religious belief stuff, man, is all to enslave the mind of the sheep.
That's right.
Keep you stagnated. To keep you from your free will. You know what I mean? It ordains something that's
disconnect you from the universe, man. Let's just go there. Disconnect you from the universe.
Yeah, it disconnects you from the universe, man, and puts you up under this mind control spell of, this invisible, you know what I mean? This invisible state, thinking something gonna come save you, where you got, the power, what I'm saying, and the energy, once you connect with the universe to save your damn self.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and you ain't gonna get the answers in no book. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the book has been copywritten by some goddamn criminals. Over and over again. All these religious books
been
copywritten, copyright infringement.
You won't hear early. You won't hear early.
Bamboozled. Hoodwinked. That is Malcolm X say. Hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. False prophets. Yeah, man.
Well, you won't hear when I said it, but I said that. That's why I said that. Anybody that was backing, I hate to say it, if you were backing, Frank called Milky Way or whatever. Hey, man. Hey, look, you need to be up for criminal charges, man. That family members, friends, whoever, because you were literally telling me to put something in my body that could kill me.
Right. We need to start a petition, man, for real. We got to get active, bro. We need to start these petitions, man. And look, these people need to be locked up, bro. Damn all that chucking and gucking in it. Nah, they need to be locked up, dog.
Like I told you,
these motherfuckers need to be locked up for genocide. While y'all keep talking human rights violation. But that human thing too is, and
by the way,
human as a monster, Frank. Did you know that they classify human as a monster and should not own, and humans should not own any
And
property?
Shaq,
any
as a
land.
matter of fact, Shaq,
Mm.
Shaq, as a matter of fact, come to think about it, when I pulled up the 3D printed meat, guess what? That's an Israeli operation too.
3D printed meat, bro. These mugs is diabolical to the 10th power. You know what I mean?
And then, but look, and then they make these false like little studies. Oh, what causes cancer? What causes this? We're curious what causes this and that. And they're full of it. And they're making the biolab, literally biolab meat, and you know, putting the pesticides in the food and
Yeah, you should have played that clip, that snippet with because we mentioned that the other day. Ice Cube was on Cam Newton. He asked him about something about vegan or something like that. Plant-based. Ice Cube was like plant-based. What is plant-based? And he went over Cam Newton head at first. Because when we asked that question up there about plant-based.
Well,
no, huh?
Because there's a spin on words. You know how they have to spin words. You know what I'm saying? Is it actually plant-based? Or is it made in a plant?
Ooh, okay, Chef.
Okay. You get me? You see what I'm saying, Frank? Is it plants based?
You're pioneer.
Well, look, I just want to say this. Yeah, it's I just gonna get out here. I got stuff to do, but the people just, I mean, I hope people watch this video while it's up because this was a masterpiece right here. I mean, I've been trying to get this out for months, but I just had to wait till now to get it all out. So
yeah, this is good.
Y'all take your time. If I could have got all this out during the election, but of course they told me I was down for a week and then they had me down for 2 months. But whatever the case may be, everybody relax. I'm gonna say this: don't eat too much today. If you don't eat all. Actually, I don't think I see people going fast. Because tomorrow and then next week, the hospital is going to be packed with people because of food. So with that being said, y'all take your time. Have a good day. I call you soon.
All right, salute. All right.